Well, guys, how's she going? So it's just about 7:30 in the evening. The sun's just barely up, and yeah, as soon as that sun hits the tree lines, it's dark. Because I had the grain truck out running yesterday. I made a little video on that, and just from I was over out in the little 12-acre piece, and by the time I got from there to here, which would be where the ramp is at, or the dike, it was so freaking dark. I was like, man, I can barely see where the hell I'm going. I was like, I might have to just leave the truck in the field because I don't have headlights, and I don't have no magnet type lights that I could put like on the bumper or something, you know, to have a little bit of something for light. So I don't have anything like that. So but I had just enough light that I could see the edges of the dike, you know, like where you drove. So I obviously wouldn't put her in the ditch, because if I put that truck in the ditch, that's going to be a bad day. So it's going to be a very bad day for that grain truck, and we don't need that. So, but I am. So I put that new transmission oil in it, and that was a nightmare. But managed to get her in there. I'm pretty sure it took three quarts to make that transmission happy. I think I would have put in at least 3.5. I mean, a little overfill, I'm sure wouldn't hurt it. I don't think the transmission leaks. I don't think it leaks a damn drop of oil. Of course, I say that now, and they'll probably be pissing it out next year. But probably have to get a new rad for it, I think, because this one's pissing again. I just think it's just so. I mean, it's most likely the original one to the truck, so might be just time to say screw it and get a new one, or maybe a one that's in much better shape. At least I'm sure you could probably find one off a junk truck or something, but I don't know. So, but it is kind of. I mean, it just is what it is, unfortunately. So, but yeah. So the other thing I was going to say is I got my 3/4 inch drive extension, the one that I ordered from Northern Tool. That's 16 inches long. That was to replace the Young Guys one that I borrowed, because we needed our own, obviously. But I guess the Young Guy said he actually could have used it a few days ago, and I was like, well, fuck, man, you should have called me. I was like, I could have ran it down to you, if you needed it. But I guess he managed to get by without it. So, but whatever, he has it now, and we won't ever probably be borrowing it again. So, because obviously I got one now. It was $42 fucking for that sumbitch, and that's not including shipping and handling, because Northern Tool's a little expensive on that shipping and stuff. But it turned out pretty good though, because that extension I bought obviously from Northern Tool, but they got businesses everywhere, and it actually came from Minnesota. So looks like somebody's been driving on my trail. I wonder if that wasn't my uncle. Well, it looks like tractor. I don't want to think. It looks like tractor marks. I know my uncle likes to come on this trail every once in a while, I guess, to see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's definitely tractor marks. So we'll just have to make sure. But we haven't had too much of a problem with trespassers in the last year, but I think we had one about a month ago, but I haven't seen them since. So whatever, I don't care if my uncle drives down here. So, but yeah, so I did order my air tank from from Harvard Freights. They have like 3 different ones, technically 4, but there's two that are the same. There's a 5-gallon, a 7-gallon, and then a 11-gallon. I said screw it, went for the 11-gallon. It's going to be a little big and clumsy, but that's all right. I mean, we're not going to be using it that much, but it's just going to be, that's just whatever. It doesn't matter. I already paid for it. It'll be a day or two yet before they ship it. I know Harbor Freight's a little slow on that. They have to, I guess, process it through their brain cells first before they decide to actually ship my order, but whatever. I'm not in a hurry for it anyway. We're not going to be using it much. I only bought it, one is so I could put air in the grain truck tire, but then I just ended up borrowing my uncle's, and I don't really like borrowing his because his actually leaks air, and I want to look at that. I don't think I've been down here for a while, but so yeah, I just borrowed his, filled up the grain truck tire, and then yeah, so but I got one coming. So, but I also bought it for the 1586's tractor tire because we don't know, you know, I don't know. I can't understand that tire because it looked like it was getting low on air, like it was starting to go down, and then all of a sudden it goes back up. I don't know how to explain that. It's just, this must be a magical tire. Unless the heat has something to do with it, you know. So, because I checked it, the other day I checked it was down to 22 PSI, so I figured, okay, well, here we are, we're leaking now again. And then I checked it, I don't know, maybe a week ago, if even that. And it was back up to 24 PSI. That's where I left it. So, yeah, ooh, look at the size of this big tree branch. I haven't been down here in a while. I haven't mowed a damn thing down here. Everything's starting to slow down now. Even my yard. There's not much to mow at my yard. Probably have to mow this one more time and then probably the junk pile, and that'll probably be it. But it seems like when you don't come down here, then things start to get kind of a mess, and that's what's going on down here. I got a lot of branches and stuff laying here now, but yeah, so got an air tank coming. I got my SD cards that I ordered. I got them a couple days ago, so I can, I guess, try to use my new gaming camera at least for a few weeks, see if I like it or not. And yeah, just want to try to see what's down here because it's always interesting. Lots of junk. There's something metal over there. It looks like a metal box. I don't know what that's all about. Looks like a metal tank. Some scrap metal and a tree. The river's pretty low again. Of course, it's not as low as it was that one year, but you can tell it's down because there's the dead spot. And like I said, we haven't had much rain to really, you know, keep this thing full. I probably would go down here if I was, you know, tied off to some rigging. And we got a tree, you know, that can support my fat ass. So get some rigging equipment or some climbing equipment and climb down here and wander this. But still no dead bodies yet, which is a good thing. Don't ever want to see a dead body down here, but you know, one of these years it's gonna fucking happen. You're gonna find an alien body down here. So, but what are you gonna do? So, but yeah, and so I'll probably put up my new gaming camera, one that I bought a couple of months ago. I'll probably put that up. Maybe try to put it up this weekend. I wanted to do it last weekend, but then that's when I found out my other $22 fucking SD card took a crap. Couldn't format it, so I lost that. So I just said the hell with it and went and bought. It was a different brand, and I think my uncle's bought in those brands before too, and he's never been happy with them. I can see why. Me and my uncle, we like that other brand. I forget what they are now, but they're pretty, common. You find them everywhere now, but and they're a little bit cheaper, but yet they work better. So how that works, I don't know. But so we're gonna try that hopefully this weekend, and then see how that camera does. So yeah. So my uncle had a cow calf today. I guess I didn't set my door good enough on the blazer because my light's still on. Not that it matters. But I guess we kind of jumped the gun a little bit on it calving because my uncle thought it's been well over an hour. Because you get the front feet were out, but yet she was never pushing the calf out. So then we ended up getting her in the barn and then calling the young guy, seeing if the young guy would come down, and because we were thinking we would have to pull that calf. But then the young guy came down, and it took him, I don't know, maybe half an hour to get here because he had other things to do, and he brought his big giant trailer. So, but he got here, about half an hour later or whatever. She already had pushed it out. So, but yeah, so the young guy said to go by 2 hours. He said that if she don't do anything within 2 hours, well then he's definitely in need of help. But we figured it had already been about 2 hours, but I don't know. I don't know exactly when my uncle spotted it. It couldn't have been too long, because then I got a phone call around 1 o'clock saying to come over and help pen her up. You can see I've been down here with the grain truck. Obviously there's the scar marks. I don't know how many times my battery disconnected on me because the battery's not sitting right. Every time you hit a pothole, the battery would disconnect. Whoops. Oh well. So, but yeah. So then my grandma called him and he came down and she had already calved. So, but so we got another calf on the ground. We don't know what it is yet, if it's a male or a female, because she's only been in the barn for a few hours, and the calf is obviously disgusting and dirty. So we're gonna give her until tomorrow. Let the mother clean her off, or him, or whoever, it's off, and then we'll check it, see what it is. So, but my grandma said that he was supposed to come, the young guy, sometime this week anyway, to grab the bulls that were born last year, because they were ready to be shipped off. So, but come to find out, well, he didn't do that. He just came and looked at the calf and whatever else, and then he took his 16-inch extension back, which I was going to give it back anyway. I just didn't know when I was going to see him, but he had to come anyway for the cow. So I just handed it to him, like, here, take it. I don't need it anymore, because I bought my own now. So for the bottle jack, I don't know, because I haven't bought one of those yet, obviously. So that's going to be at some point, I guess. But I don't know. So, and then the young guy, he looked at my tires on the 15, obviously, and yeah, so He says you're better off running a different, that one brand. I forget what it was, but it was only like 3 letters. I think it's another common tire. Well, a somewhat famous brand, I guess. A lot of people like them, but I don't know. So, and maybe they're just a little bit cheaper. I don't really know. But, so, because I told him I wanted another Firestone to match the other one, but he says that they're garbage. Well, I don't know. Everybody has their opinion. I mean, that Firestone tire that's on there now, it's never given me any trouble. I mean, it is starting to show signs of wear and tear, but that's to be expected. It's a tire. It's not, you know, it's, I don't know. It's not nothing fancy, you know. It's just a damn rubber tire, you know. You're mostly, I think, just paying for the fucking brand, but what are you gonna do? So, but either Firestone or Goodyear, but I don't know. But I ain't gonna worry about it because that's just the way it's gonna be. I have to sit on that dual for this year. The young guy said that well, I had talked to him about it before, that if we were going to put a brand new tire on, that we're going to have to slide that tire out so it's not so damn close, because whatever, I'm not sure what the hell's going on, but obviously the tire has been rubbing. But I think what's happening is that the tire only rubs, I suppose, like along the cab or whatever, when the tractor's bouncing. Because I think what happens is that when the tire bounces, you're pushing the bottom tire down, so then therefore you're pushing all the air to the upper part of the tire, and that tire actually expands more than it really should, even though the tire is designed to flex. But I think it's flexing just enough that it's rubbing on the cab, or it could be rubbing on anything for that matter, because the tires are just so damn far in. But the young guy says that all we would have to really do is slide the rim. He says you wouldn't have to, I mean, you can do it, but he says you don't have to. But he says that on these rims, you know, there's these notches in the rim, and he says that that's where you can mount the tire to. So it gives you more flexibility in how you want your spacing. So yes, you can space it, you can slide them in or out on the axle shaft, but you can also do it via the rims. And he says you don't even have to dish them out or nothing. He says on his 1086 he dished out his cast center rims because he wanted it to be as wide as possible, but then he ended up just widening it out all the more anyway, because he has slightly longer axle shafts, so he was able to slide that one tire out. And plus I think he had a wedge brake, so that tire wasn't going to do nothing. So but he says that if you slid it out just on the rim alone, he says that should give you about 4 inches. So, and that's really all we would need. I don't need to go crazy. 4 inches would probably be way more than enough. But I measured it from the dual hub to the very end of the axle shaft. That's also 3.5 to 4 inches. They're not exactly perfect, so why that is I don't know, but we'll say 4 inches. So actually, if you dished out the rims 4 inches and then slid them out on the axle shaft 4 inches, that would give you a total of 8 inches of clearance between everything. And that would probably be crazy amount wide, but because I don't really want to go crazy wide. I want to keep it somewhat narrow because I like the look, but it needs to obviously be somewhat widened, so if the tire does this, then it can't hit nothing. And then it can also give me a little bit more of a wider stance, you know. But then I'm also just going to shove a dual on anyway, so it ain't going to really matter. But a little bit wider would not hurt it. I mean, I like that skinny look, but that's a problem because the tires can rub on anything, and then you pop a freaking tire, and that's what happened in this case. I popped that tire, so, which sucks because there was still plenty of life left in that tire, but yeah, it was pretty cracked and it was wore out. So that was the oldest tire on that tractor besides the duals. The duals are even older, but yeah. So he thinks that, well, he says that we can do that anytime. He says all you would have to do is jack it up or whatever to get whatever weight there is on that tire off of it, loosen the bolts all the way around the cast center of the rim. That's where the steel rim would bolt up to the cast center. He says just loosen all those bolts, and then you should just be able to slide the whole thing, the whole rim and the tire included, and just move it all in one big chunk. So, and then you just tighten them back down. So, but that's the plans anyway when we decide to replace that tire. When I can get my hands on either a really, really good used one or a brand new one. I would rather just go with a brand new one and be done with it. But unfortunately, that's not priority because I have the plumber, that guy is pissing me off. What are you going to do? He didn't come Tuesday like he was supposed to, but I think, one, it had rained. We had gotten that storms the night before, and the ground was going to be sopping wet. And whatever. So now he's saying Friday, which is tomorrow, I guess. And then I got a big bill with him. So, and then I still have this thing to get done, this Tahoe. I still have a few other odds and ends that I have to get done to it before I can really feel comfortable putting it on the highway. Yes, I'm driving it here and there, but I'm not driving it on the highway, So, I just feel safer keeping it off the highway until I get the airbags fixed. And then, that's the number one reason to why I'm not even driving it on the highway, is because of the airbags. The chances of me getting into an accident, are probably pretty slim, but I'm not taking the chance. I'm not going to do it. It's a stupid thing to even do. So, fix the airbags, get the CB radio put in it, which could happen probably over the winter months easily. And then I got to get the brush guard put on, which that can be done in spring. And then after that, then I got to start saving up for that tire. I might try to sneak a little bit of money in for the tire throughout the winter months, but no guarantees. But it's just, I don't know. There's just too much going on, and I can't handle it all. I gotta just focus on one project at a time. So I can't do it all. So, and another thing I learned about these Tahoes is, the key ignition. You don't have to sit there and hold it. You can just bump it and then it'll fire up on its own. So there's another thing for you. You don't have to hold the key to start it. You just bump it and it'll fire right up. So learned that this morning. So learning all kinds of new things about this Tahoe, but still been a pretty good vehicle, besides the questionable engine. But I imagine the engine's been overhauled or something. I don't know. It used to be a cop engine, so I imagine they've taken good care of it and fixed it. There's actually another one of these going for sale, but it's a 2017 model, and it still has the spotlight there. Like, mine used to have one, but they took it off for whatever stupid reason. So I wish they would have left it on there, because honestly that would come in handy for spotting cabs in the middle of the night. I really should put one back in this thing too, but man, they're expensive. Especially if you want an LED version. You're talking like $700. I can't believe it. Can't believe they're that much money. But yeah, I would like to have one in this thing too. It'd be good for spotting cabs or illegal hunting or whatever going on in my land, right? So, but whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. That's not even on the list of things to do. So, but yeah, I don't know. So hopefully we can just get some things done. So I don't know. But what are you gonna do? You know, so hopefully he can come. I don't know if he'll come. He wouldn't. I doubt he's gonna come now to come and get those bulls. Because tomorrow would be Friday. So I mean, maybe next week. I don't know. But he hurt himself, so he's kind of not down, but just, well, not out, but you know, he's just kind of, well, he's slow. I guess he pulled a muscle or something in his back, so he couldn't even walk straight for quite a few days. He was pretty much hunched over like an old man. But he says he's doing all right now. Got some deer hanging out. So, but then of course he had to start, you know, joking around. He's always got to pull jokes out of somewhere, you know. So he's like, well, you might have to come and get the old timers round baler, you know, because he was like, because I might be dying. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, man, you're only what, probably 60 something years old. He ain't, well, probably not even that. I don't know how old he is, but he ain't that fucking old. So no, he's got to be in his 50s at least. I don't know his age, so I'm not gonna ask. So, but he's up there. But man, you ain't gonna be dying anytime fucking soon. So he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to come and get the old timers baler and make your own hay. Well, first of all, I don't have a cutter. He's like, well, you would have to find one. It's like, yeah, well, good luck. And then he's like, well, you could just use the old Farmall A. But I'm like, man, that's only got like a 5 or 6 foot cutter bar on it. You ain't gonna get nothing done with that. And he's like, well, at least your hay would dry faster because it would be, you know, spread out over the whole entire ground instead of just being in a windrow. Which is true. Hay will dry out quicker if it's not in a windrow. If it's just laying flat on the ground, it'll dry out a little more because you don't have all that hay on top of hay covering it. So yeah, that part's true, but then you'd have to go over it with the fucking rake, which the rake needs to work. It really just needs all new tines and more of them. And I got to fix the gearbox gasket. I got to get a new gasket made up for that. And you know, but the old timers baler, that thing's a piece of shit too. That damn thing's fucking just plain ass wore out. I mean, even the damn pickup head wasn't even working right. But that's supposedly because the old timer pulled it off the young guy's baler, because he had an 851 too back in the day. And then I guess he stopped using it because it got so wore out, and he upgraded to that 855 and he ran that for many years. But I guess the old timer pulled the pickup head off his old baler and stuck it on to his. Why, I don't know, but that pickup head is junk too. Because it rotates, but there's like a millisecond where it stops and then it goes. So it rotates, stops, rotates. Well, and then that's got hydraulic tie. Are you mad? I don't want hydraulic tie. Screw that. I want auto tie. You know, so look at that. Yeah, that baler would be a good baler to get me started with, but I don't think so. Honestly, if I had to, I would go get that 688 New Holland baler. That's what the young guy has now too. But there's another one going for sale about an hour east of here, and it's in really good shape. And they only want $5,000 for it. I'm like, you know what? I think I'd rather go get that baler than deal with that 851. Sure, those balers were prime balers in their day, but they're wore out. I'd rather have an 855, but yeah, they're wore out too. But I don't know if I could deal with an 851 unless it had electric tie, but I don't think a lot of those balers came with that. It was either mechanical or it was hydraulic. And I sure the hell ain't gonna want mechanical. Screw that. And what I mean by that is you actually had to crank it. You had a big crank handle and you had to rotate it by hand. Nope, ain't doing it. No chance, no way in hell. I'd rather put up loose hay then and deal with that. So I'll just get me an 855 or whatever, just whatever I can get at the time. But I mean, I guess that barely would do. You know, if that's the only thing I could get my hands on to make hay for a year or two. But I don't know. I just feel like I'd be wasting my time with it because I'd be putting more money into it than it's worth. So, but yeah, that's not going to happen. So, but yeah, I got to try to get a couple parts for the little tractor too. I'm still debating on if I want to buy a whole new starter or just buy the Bendix drive for it, because I don't know if that's the problem or not. So I guess I could try it. It's only like 50 bucks or 60 bucks for that part. And then the gasket for the gasket rebuild kit for the carburetor, that's like another 30. So those are like some really cheap parts that I could get just to try to get that Farm LA back up running before the winter's over with. So I don't know. We'll see what the hell happens. But I got to get diesel fuel. So I'm not going to be able to do anything else. I got to get diesel fuel. And then I got to... yeah, then I got to put that jelly stuff in it. Take my batteries out. And that's going to be the end of that. Unfortunately, there's not too many more days I'm going to be running that old 1586 before it's sitting for the year. So, what are you going to do, right? So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. Just want to let you guys know what was going on. And, yeah. So, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So, I guess I have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.